I've been asked what kind of cameras I use for my videos. Well, I'm going to tell you. Catch you inside. RevelatorAlf. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Please subscribe and hit the notifications bell for all the latest videos. If you're on Cocoscope, then please subscribe and adopt the channel for exclusive content that's coming very shortly. So in this video, I'm talking about the cameras that I use to make videos, both when I'm actually out and about making motorcycle videos or actually in a studio or in an office or wherever I'm making them. What kind of cameras I use and, my thoughts on different types of cameras. Well, I'll tell you what my take on the cameras are. First of all, they just have to have a decent resolution. The lens needs to be clear. It needs to be able to capture a wide shot as well. But also they need to be portable. They need to be really small and compact. So I'm traveling, I always travel light. So I need to have a camera that is small and compact. But it's going to produce good video and hopefully good audio as well. Now, for the motorcycle videos, I use two cameras. I use a Drift Ghost HD, which I'm actually filming on right now, and I use a GoPro as well. So I mount these cameras either on the bike or on my helmet or on a chest cam, chest bracket like that, or on the chin of the helmet for the GoPro. So I have multiple shots shooting at the same time. When I want some stills or I actually want to set up a camera on a tripod, then I use this Olympus OMD EM10. It's still a great camera. It's got a great lens on it. Actually, the picture quality I much prefer, or the video quality I much prefer off this than off the GoPro 4 and even off the Drift Ghost. I just like the way the lens actually frames the shot a lot better than these two. So for actually static shots or actually face to camera type videos, if I'm doing it out and about on the bike, then I like to use this. Now inside a studio at home or in an office, then I do tend to use this quite a lot, but actually I tend to use also the Drift and the GoPro as well. It really depends how I'm feeling at the time and how many angles I'm trying to pick up at the same time. If I'm just going for a single shot, then I'll tend to use one camera and just use that for the whole video, and then I'll edit it off or just change the angle slightly as I'm filming it. If I'm going for multiple angles and filming at the same time, and then in the editing process I'll just chop and change which camera I'm actually talking to and which camera I will actually use for that particular shot. So I'll set them up around the room, set them up at different heights with different lights, so on and so forth. But these are the cameras that I use. Now, I also use a smartphone, an iPhone. So I take a lot of the photos, a lot of the thumbnails that come from the iPhone. I even take video. I've made quite a few videos with just the iPhone as well. Perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. Put it on a tripod as well. Use it for vlogging, no problem at all. Use these for vlogging, the Drift Ghost for vlogging as well. Tend not to use this so much, and it's more because this doesn't have an external port, sorry, a port for an external mic. So this is quite an old camera now. However, the Drift and the GoPro do, so I tend to use that for external mics, and I get much better audio quality with those. Why do I use a range of cameras? Because every camera might be good at a particular thing, but it might not be as great in another area. So let's say between the Drift and the GoPro, there are slight differences. Certainly for on-the-go shooting on the bike, definitely the Drift is the way to go for me. But if you want, a bit more latitude, actually the GoPro is really good as well. But it's not as streamlined, so it really depends what you're putting it. Actually, if I want a better video shot, then I tend to go for this, and I would tend to go for a DSLR or something like that, just for the lens is going to be bigger, they'll be interchangeable, and there's greater options within the camera to adjust the settings, especially in low light conditions, whereas the action cams are not great for low light conditions. So it really depends what I'm using the camera for, what sort of shot I need, and how mobile I'm going to be will really determine what kind of camera I'm using. So whether it's the action cam or whether it's you know, a bigger camera. So those are the cameras that I use. So anyway, I'm also using the smartphone, and you know, I like new technology, but I also still just use the technology that I have. If it's still working fine, if it still shoots in 1080 you know, HD, most of the time that's all I'm really after. Yeah, I can shoot in 4K 2.7K, but you know, actually for most of my videos are going on YouTube, or going on Cocoscope, so going on, you know, all across the social media. The kind of vlogging videos that I do, or the moto vlogs, or the kind of experiences that I'm sharing, or the how-to videos, I don't need a 4K, I don't need a 2.7K, I just need a 1080, and that's absolutely fine for me. Would I certainly step up for a bigger camera? Yes, I certainly will in time, I'm sure. I'll probably go for something like probably a smaller camera, like a mirrorless camera, I don't know, maybe a M50 or something like that. It really depends how I feel at the time. I might even go for a DSLR. I'll see how I feel. The problems with the bigger DSLR, it's portability, and that's what puts me off. Can't dispute the quality of the video, but it's the portability which I don't particularly like, especially when I'm on the bike and I've got a rucksack and I'm on the go all the time. In terms of action cams, well, really, it's up to, you know, the latest ones, the GoPro Hero4 or the Drift Ghost 4K. That's what I'm really looking at as next ones. Again, I'll probably still shoot in 1080 for the most part, but actually I'm looking for image stabilization. That's maybe where I might use it the most, and that's where I might see it, especially when I'm off on the trails, you know, doing that kind of thing. Anyway, so that was just a answer to a direct question that I got. What kind of cameras I'm using, and when am I using them, and what do I think about the newer stuff. You know, I'm not a Luddite in that I'm only going to use the old stuff, you know, but I still value it. If it's still good, if it still does the job, then I'm not necessarily going to rush out just to change a camera for the sake of changing it. However, I am looking to get bigger cameras and newer cameras, just for image quality and just to improve the images and the video quality and the audio quality going forward on the different platforms that I'm sharing the videos. Anyway, so there's lots more exclusive content coming out, both on the Patreon site and on Cocoscope, so please check those out. Please become a patron. Please go to Cocoscope and RevelatorAlf Cocoscope, and you know, adopt the channel as well, because there's going to be more exclusive content there as well, and there's also going to be exclusive content here on YouTube as well. Right, hope you enjoyed the videos. Please subscribe, and as I say, hit the notifications bell, adopt, leave loads of comments, like the videos, and I'll catch you on the next one, whenever that is. Cheers now.